Welcome to Game Corp, a bi-weekly podcast where we reach into the imaginosphere and pull out the next great video game idea. I am the CEO of Game Corp, Bryce.
And I'm the CEO of Game Corp, Beckers.
Last time, this great video game company made Afterlife Overtime. How'd that do?
So, honestly, I don't really remember what this was about. I just remember we had that picture that became the cover of the game, and it was that guy from Scream, the movie, sitting at a computer. And then Bryce said, we're never going to make a game out of this picture. So I took that as a personal challenge to make a game, and now I don't remember what the game was. So probably we can just say that this game was forgettable. How are the interns, Bryce?
It was about being a ghost and having to have a job.
Okay, that makes sense. That looks like what that picture was about.
That's what I would have done if I had to make a game out of that picture.
Which
Luckily,
I did.
That's what I did.
It was my idea, and I made the game, and now that's what happened.
And now it's out there, and you all have to deal with that. I feel sorry for you. The interns have dwindled down to a reasonable number. I haven't counted them. They're they never seem to all want to be in the same room with me at the same time, so I can't get a precise count on how many there are. But I think I can't really
blame them. A number of them have just died in your place, so
I want to I feel like being together at once is fine. You just never want to be alone. That's how things happen.
And they happen every time.
Every
2 weeks.
But it's good now. We have the hardy ones, the strong and healthy ones that sadly don't fall into death traps. And they're good now. The 2019 batch of interns are ready to finally actually start working at Game Corp. Really, the first 6 months, or however long they've been here, I didn't keep track, is just the obstacle course of staying alive. And if you can get through that, then you're allowed to look at a video game. And then, depending on how that goes, we'll see if we keep you. This week, we're going to have them look at a video game, and we'll see how that goes.
And now that we have the strongest, the upper crust of, if you will, of the intern pool, we can breed them to produce only the strongest interns.
Yes.
We're here to unveil our intern breeding program. And we're open to selling these to other companies. They are very hardy, fire-resistant, bulletproof, all proven. Yeah, they don't walk into holes a lot. That's good too. Some
of them do, but they're not with us anymore. These are the whole free ones.
Those aren't getting bred.
Yep.
In either sense of the word, because they're dead. So they can't make any money, so they can't get that bread.
Okay.
Or mate with each other.
Okay.
You can go.
Well, game ideas time. Hello. It is time for me to reveal that I am a time traveler. Nice to meet you. Due to some hilarious and problematic incidents, my parents didn't get down in Funky Town. So, it looks like I was never born. And sadly, the only thing that powers my 1980 wood-paneled station wagon that I turned into a time machine is your game ideas. So.
So you're gonna die.
So if you could please go to Twitter and send in your game ideas using the hashtag GameMateCorp. And then I will take those game ideas and stick them into my fuel tank. I think I haven't had to do this before. It was already gassed up before I bought it. And then I'll be able to go back and ensure the game of tonsil hockey that preceded my birth is able to get the big points, high scores. On that note, it's time to do the podcast before I disappear. But before that, there's been something that I've been wanting to know for many, many months now. There was, back in the day, Beckers said before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, she would play all the Kingdom Hearts games. And I have been playing the Kingdom Hearts game, Kingdom Hearts 3, recently. And it is time for me to find out how that went. But more importantly, I think the important thing we need to find out is I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 1 through Birth by Sleep. 2 Kingdom Hearts .8, I don't remember. There's so many of them. I don't remember what all happened. And luckily we've got someone here who has just played them. So Beckers, can you give me the plot of Kingdom Hearts real quick?
Yeah, I can, because I have freshly played all of them.
Yeah.
On my new PlayStation that I have and have definitely set up before, and I didn't just buy it and it's been sitting here because of reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what happens?
Here's how Kingdom Hearts goes.
Yep.
You play as a young man. His name is Sora.
I remember that.
And then he's got a girlfriend. Her name is Katie.
Katie? It's been a while,
so.
But that could be right. Maybe.
I think it might be Katie, or it might be Kyrie.
Okay.
And you go, and you were hanging out one day.
Yep.
And then you guys got sucked into a video game where you were in a Disney video game.
Okay.
It's kind of like that new Jumanji movie, but it's Kingdom Hearts, right?
It's a video game about you playing a video game. What video game were they playing? Is it just the Disney video game?
The video game is Sora and Katie get sucked into a video game world.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then the first person they meet is Donald Duck.
Okay.
And they can't understand what he's saying at all. Because he just goes... Wah, 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 wah. That didn't go as well as I was hoping. So... so the first person that you meet is Donald Duck.
Okay.
And then you have to go around and try and find a duck translator. But in the meantime... Donald gets into a fight with somebody and you don't really know what they're fighting about, but suddenly you have a lot of enemies and they're evil, and one of them's Sephiroth from Final Fantasy.
I remember that, yep.
That's just in there. That's really weird. He's just in there. So you gotta assume all the other Final Fantasy characters are in there too. I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, you've got to assume, because as everyone who's played it will know, that you just have to assume that they're there as you play.
Yeah, because you met Sephiroth, and you're pretty sure the rest of them were there somewhere. And I'm pretty sure Cloud was there. I don't know. It was brief. He was only there for a second, because then you just took his big sword, and you turned it into a big key. And that's what you fight with, is a big key.
They're like... Hey, Cloud, can I borrow that real quick? And he's like, and then you like cut out a key from it, and they're like, this is mine now. You had a sword, I have a key. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And then you find out that his big his sword was the source of his power, and then Cloud just dies. So then you have to take up his mission to kill Sephiroth. And that's what the game's about. And you meet other Disney characters along the way. Sephiroth kidnaps Katie, and then you kill Sephiroth and you get Katie back. But that's in Kingdom Hearts 2, she gets stolen again. This time by that Pete, that fat cat dude from the Disney cartoons. Yeah.
Isn't he a dog because Goofy's a dog?
I don't really know. It's not really clear what Pete is. He's just big and not human. He's got ears.
Pete was Goofy's neighbor in the Goofy
Extremely
Time.
Goofy movie.
Well, yeah, both that and they had a TV show, which people don't know it, but the Goofy movie is a spin-off of the TV show. Or is it the other way around? I'm pretty sure it's a spin-off of the TV show. Yep. True story. I was there. So you beat up Pete and then get Katie back?
Yep. But Pete enlists a bunch of Disney villains like Ursula and stuff, so you gotta fight through all the different Disney movies to get Katie.
Have you been able to dip into Kingdom Hearts 3 at all, or is
No, I haven't.
Where do you think the story's gonna go with that one?
Probably somewhere. I'm guessing Katie gets stolen again. Like, that's just a running theme.
It's just that, like, Super Mario, the guy who made Kingdom Hearts played
Katie
Super Mario.
is in another castle.
Yes.
Your Katie's in another castle. Sorry.
And then you're probably gonna have to jump on some Goombas to get Katie back, and maybe
except instead of going through all these Mario worlds, you just go through different Disney worlds. This time, you're gonna turn into a car, and you're gonna have to win a car race, like in Cars. Yep. And also, what's another recent Disney movie? Moana. You're gonna have to learn how to sail, and you're gonna have to fight the big crab guy, and he's gonna say, "Sorry, Katie's in a different Disney movie."
Yes, every time you go to a Disney World, they're like, hey, you got to play through the story of this movie that you remember, and then at the end they're gonna go, oh, you beat the story, but Katie's not here. I don't know why you even came here. What were you thinking? Why would Katie be in Shark's Tale? This isn't even Disney. This is DreamWorks. That
was stupid. And that's what happens when you go into the Final Fantasy games too. They're just like, why are you here? This isn't Disney. How did
you get here?
I don't understand why Final Fantasy and Disney are partnered in this franchise. I'm just really confused about it. Yep.
Would you say that the Kingdom Hearts games are good, bad? What's your review?
I would say that they are mouse great. I tried.
Mouse great.
Mouse-tastic.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can come up with some mouse-tastic games today.
Mouse-erific.
Beckers, what do you have an original game idea?
Yeah, it's mouse-tastic.
Good.
This one, have you ever heard of the Brave Little Toaster?
I've heard of a toaster. I have one in the
kitchen. So you haven't heard of the Brave Little Toaster. So it's a movie.
No, it's a thing that you make bread. You put bread into, and then comes out. It's still bread, but like it's crispier. Though here's the real secret trip. If you just take bread and you just leave it out for a while, it gets crispy too. Why do we need do we need toasters? It does it itself.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done?
Sure.
Is that good?
What do you got?
That was like vaguely gross.
Thanks.
Just gross. Yeah. So The Brave Little Toaster is a movie that might be Disney, but I'm not entirely sure.
Cool.
It wasn't in any of the Kingdom Hearts games, so
you don't remember seeing it any?
I didn't see any toasters in there. So The Brave Little Toaster is about some household appliances that I think get left behind when their human moves away. So the household appliances take it on themselves to travel across the countryside and get to their owner's new house because they really like that guy. It's kind of like Homeward Bound, but it's appliances.
Is this in the Toy Story franchise?
No.
Can we talk about the Toy Story franchise for a second?
If we must.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
At what point does a toy become sentient? Like, are they are in the store, or do they know they're a toy? And apparently not, because Buzz didn't know he was a toy. He thought he was a real thing, but they all know that when a human is around to play dead, to act like they're not toys. So why do they do that if they think they're not toys? How do they gain sentience? What about them makes them sentient? And that is a serious issue due to the Toy Story 5? I don't know which one we're on. 4?
4.
4, where a spork that the girl has wrapped hands around, little twine or something, and given hands to, that now has sentience. Who is making these things alive, and how and why, and how do they know not to hide from the humans, and what happens if they don't?
Okay, well, there was a time when they didn't.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Is in the first movie where all those effed up toys band together to scare that effed up neighbor kid. And nothing bad happened.
But here's the thing about that. They let themselves get, like, fucked up till that point when Woody and Buzz came over and be like, hey, maybe not. They allowed it to happen when they could have, like, risen up before. And then, yeah, I guess there were no consequences to that. Though, honestly, if my toys all, like, came to life and scared the crap out of me, they would be in the chipper. I would go purchase an industrial strength chipper, and those toys would not be mine anymore because they would be in little scraps across the yard.
Okay, but he was a kid. He can't go purchase a wood chipper. I'm sure he went and he was like, Mom, there's toys and they're alive. And then his mom was like, you're an idiot, Sid.
Okay, but he does have access to fire. We know that because he has used them, so at the very least, he could torch them. Did we ever see those toys again? They could have ended up in that way. We see Sid later. He becomes a garbage man in 3. But who knows what happened to those toys?
Yeah, it's a good character redemption arc because now he's got a steady, good job. And you can tell that he showed up to work that day at least. So
he used to be a garbage person, and now he's a garbage man.
Good one.
Thanks.
Good one.
Okay. What about your appliances that also have sentience, and when did they gain sentience? And go on.
We're not going to talk about when they got sentience. We're just going to accept it. So,
and why do only not everything in the house has sentience? It's only like some things do and some things don't. Also,
yeah, like the vacuum, the heated blanket, the toaster. Those are the ones I remember.
Yeah. Does electricity give things sentience?
I don't think so because they aren't plugged in for the majority of the movie.
Yeah, but once you plug them in, then it gives them brains, and then they can do with that what they will.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know. I don't care. So
okay.
they just are.
Fine. Go ahead.
So I want to do the Brave Little Toaster, which is basically Homeward Bound, except with appliances.
Yep.
We're gonna do that, and as a video game, except it's gonna be in reverse. It's gonna be, instead of the appliances going across the world to find their people, this is gonna be a game in a world of sentient appliances where the appliances are the master race. The pet humans have to go find their toaster's new house.
Okay.
So the people are going to have to be miniature sized for this to work.
Okay.
And they're trying to travel in this world made for appliances. Maybe it takes place in the Cars universe. Except we didn't realize at the time, we didn't see that all the other machines are alive too.
I mean, there is the Planes movies and yeah, just that. So we know the planes are also alive. I don't think we see anything. We just see cars and planes. Anything with a motor. There's probably a lawnmower that's alive.
Yeah. Blenders and stuff have motors too, though, so.
Sure. Are they gas motors, or maybe it's gas that gives them?
So you're saying hybrids or electric cars aren't alive?
Well, hybrids would be because they have gas, but
Electric cars.
Electric cars, no. Those are abominations of the Lord.
Okay, well, in this world, appliances are all alive. Anyway, so
define an appliance.
Don't test me. So the Brave Little Toaster movie culminates in this junkyard towards the end here. And it's just full of like broken bodies of appliances and cars and whatever, and they're all horrified. And there's this big metal evil dude who's coming down, who's trying to magnet them up and then crush them.
That's Toy Story 3.
Okay, well, it happened in Brave Little Toaster in like the 80s, so.
Okay.
I don't think that was the same thing. They were all just falling into the incinerator. So.
Same diff.
Anyway, so they're just crushing these appliances, smashing them. And then this will be the same, but it'll still be in reverse. So it's a junkyard, except the humans are junk. And there's arms everywhere.
Is it a human trying to grab them and smash them? Is it like a really buff dude? Because I would assume the roles would just be, instead of the crusher, it'd be a guy. All the roles are reversed. Yeah. It's just a really buff dude trying to punch him.
Really, really tall. It's like the Mountain trying to pick up Barbie-sized people. And then smash them. And then, okay, so what happens in the Toaster movie is the toaster gets smashed. And then his human finds him and puts him back together. And I don't know that that's going to work here. Because people don't get put together so easy. But I don't know. In a world run by appliances, maybe they evolved and they took over people because they were better. So maybe they can heal people.
Holy bejeebus, Beckers. Can I crack it wide open for you?
Yes, do it.
Okay, so you're playing this video game that Beckers came up with. There was the
brave little
toaster, but with people, and you're la-di-dying around, and as cars or whatever, it's all the appliances. You got toasters that are going to jobs and getting a paycheck and stuff, and humans are just making blending up drinks for them. They're like, hey, blend this, and then they just have to run around in the drink real quick and blend it up or something. And I assume this is going to take place in kind of that Cars universe where humans used to exist, but then the appliances gained sentience, or always had sentience, and finally decided to make use of that. And rise up and get rid of the humans.
Probably because of global warming.
Yeah, that's an option.
Yeah.
So you're playing the game, and then you get to the end, and the mountain smashes you real good, and you're expecting a game over screen, but then you find your arms and your legs all over the part, and is your owner a toaster?
Sure.
Okay, so your toaster dad,
a big toaster.
Your toaster dad shows up, and he grabs together all the parts and takes you home and puts you back together because the appliances have now risen up, and all the humans are gone. But they decide they missed the humans, so they've decided to manufacture robotic humans, and it turns out you were a robot the whole time. Boom! And then you come back.
Because you didn't even know.
Yeah.
You didn't know you were a robot until you were smashed, and then you saw your robot arm lying over there, and you went, ah!
I thought this was a game about being a human in a robot world, but I'm one of them. I'm just a pet robot.
So now the game idea, we're gonna call it the Brave Little People?
Yep.
Question mark?
Can we instead of putting a question mark, can we put the brave little people and then underneath it question mark? And what was spelled out?
Yes. I don't think that'll give away the ending at all. I actually don't. I think people will just be confused by that.
As most of our game ideas.
Yeah. A lot of people can't hang with how our games go. Yeah.
Well, I think we have created a fully functioning game idea there, so it's time to make another one. And this
another one.
Yes. And this is a game idea about it is a lost phone game. Are you familiar with those Beckers?
So a long time ago, you were going to do a game idea about a lost phone. And you bought me a lost phone game for me to play so that I would know what they are.
Yep.
And I didn't do that. I didn't play it. So not really. Not really, Bryce.
Lost phone games are games where, like, it's a story game where you're basically given a phone that you found for whatever reason. You were at a bar or you found it on the street or whatever. And you can then go through the phone and see what the thing is. So you can, like, look at the pictures, look at the text messages, look at the notes where they're like, oh, I hope I don't get kidnapped today. And then in the end, it reveals that they got kidnapped. They all have different stories. Sometimes you were kidnapped. Sometimes it turns out that they're in a shitty relationship. Sometimes they're an alien. Other things. It's a great experience. I sort of played one. It was more about messaging a man in the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And a lift. And you find a phone there.
Uber.
No, Uber's the bad one. And you find a phone sitting there, and you're like, mine. And you don't tell anybody about it. And then you could go through it and try and figure out who the owner is and child's phone. Where would they like it? You don't do any of that. Instead, you now have a new phone number that nobody knows about through this phone, and you decide to call it to prank people. This is a game about using this new phone to prank people. And that's it. There we go. Okay, so you have to go through the phone and try and
figure out who you are.
Yeah, figure out as much information about the person as possible, and then go through their contacts and try and pretend to be them to their parents. Be like, "Hi, Mom, it's me, Shaniqua. I'm doing fine at Yale. And can you send me money? I have a new Venmo account. Do you know how to Venmo me? Venmo me this money because I like money. I love you, Mom. I'm your child, Shaniqua."
This is your first instinct is to rob old people.
They're not.
When instead you could be like calling into places that you don't work and then saying that you're not coming into work today. You could be calling people and saying, "Hey, this is Pizza Hut. How may I help you?" And they'd be really confused because they didn't call. You called. So they're like, "You called me. How can I help you?" And then it would
I'm pretty
be very
sure
funny.
You call Pizza Hut and then you conference call somebody else so that they are talking to Pizza Hut, but they didn't know it. And then Pizza Hut thinks that they're talking to someone who just called them.
Oh my God.
Did you not know how that's supposed to work? Conference calls, Beckers.
Okay, well, I made it up just now.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know it was already a thing that people did with conference calling.
Yeah. I saw a video where a guy called two GameStops and they tried to help each other, and then they ended up like exchanging toilet paper or something. They're like, hey, we're out of this. Can you send some, like, oh, I need to call you guys. But since we're on the phone, can I get this? And they're like, yeah, sure. We'll send somebody over. It's a great time. So what would you do with a lost phone, Beckers?
I would call Walmart and tell them that I'm not coming into work today and my name was Janet. And then Walmart would say, we don't have a Janet working here. And you'd be like, I was supposed to start today, but I'm not coming in because I have earwigs. And they would be like, that's a very bad impression, Janet.
Okay.
Jenna Marbles did this.
Earwigs is a bug. My apartment had earwigs, and then I was like, they're gross.
It's a bug? You mean it's not just little, like, toupees you put on each ear?
Toupees?
Yeah.
Toupees is your hair on your head. What?
Yeah. Bryce.
Okay.
Earwig.
Oh, I get it. I get it. No, yeah, they're earwigs because they're little bugs that people thought were going to crawl into their ears and but they'd wig
them
out.
Yeah.
That's my game idea. You got one?
Yep. I have something more important than any game idea could ever be, Bryce. It's time to do my shout out to our investors. So the first one is Aaron. Aaron C. Aaron, you're the best. Anyone can see that. Is there anyone else yet, Bryce?
No, that's it.
Next time it could be you. I love Aaron. I love Aaron more than any of you because Aaron is our investor. So think about that.
If they wanted a shout out from you, how would they do it?
Pretty sure they have to go to patreon.com/lastgeek and subscribe to our Patreon. And that's how it happens.
For how much?
I don't know.
$5. $5 will get you a shout out on each and every episode of Game Make Corp. Or $8 will get you a shout out on Game Make Corp and Ready Set Gamecast. And like $20 will get you mail will be mailed to your house. Either that or $30. I think one of them.
I'll send you a letter and I'll spray perfume on it like they do in the old movies.
One of them is an email. We'll email you once a month, and maybe Beckers will spray perfume on her keyboard as she types it.
I just had to get a new keyboard.
Because you spelled pop on it?
Because garlic butter does not come out of keyboards very well.
Same for soda on the keyboards. I had to get one new too as well.
Garlic butter.
Why? What were you doing? What? How? Okay. Game idea?
Garlic butter. Yeah, I have a game idea. Here it is, Bryce. Sometimes life doesn't go your way. Sometimes your dear old granny leaves the old mansion in her will to your brother instead of you. Sometimes your competitor's restaurant, that stupid Olive Garden, is doing better business than yours and your restaurant's going to go out of business. Are you just going to sit down and take this like a weenus? Or are you going to stand up and do something about it? This is a game where you play as a Scooby-Doo villain. And you're going to haunt that mansion until your brother doesn't want to live there. Or no one will buy it or something. So you get the mansion.
So the brother was going to sell it.
I don't know. Just fill in the blanks. You've got this. So then you're going to haunt your competitor's restaurant as a swamp beast.
You're going to haunt the Olive Garden.
You're going to haunt the Olive Garden as the olive ghost. You're just going to be a big olive.
I really want to zero in on haunting an Olive Garden. How would you do that? How do you haunt an Olive Garden? How do you make it appear haunted?
This is where you gotta come up with your own backstory. So why is this Olive Garden haunted? Did somebody die there 20 years ago choking on a breadstick? Are you gonna come back as some purple-faced zombie with a breadstick in his mouth? And then you're just gonna go after people and say, "Rah!" and then they run away, and then you've scared them away and no one wants to eat there because of the ghost.
I think the first step is you need to get a job at said Olive Garden, so that when you're like, you need to be a cashier at the Olive Garden, be like, "Hello, welcome to Olive Garden. I can get you a table real quick, but just be careful about the back section because that's where
the olive ghost,
the olive beast is. So don't go there because somebody needs to know that this is a ghost experience and not just bad Olive Gardening."
He leaks up from the floorboards and then he grabs your ankles.
Yeah, it's like a heist movie, but with ghost stuff. So you need a man on the inside. I guess that could be you, or you could just get your nephew to do it because he probably works there already.
Yeah, everybody works there. Instead of Ocean's 11, it'd be Zoinks. Scooby-Doo. 12. You said it was a heist movie, so...
Instead of Ocean's 11, it's Zoinks.
Zoinks. And there's a big Shaggy meme right now, isn't there?
Yes,
so
he's very powerful.
Good. So you have to make sure if any gangs of children and animals come around, you make sure you lay low at that time. Because you don't have to be afraid of cops. They're never the ones who freaking catch you.
I mean, if you call a cop and say, "Hello, my restaurant is haunted," they are not going to come over and deal with that.
Sure they will. They're not as good as the gang figuring out these crimes. Yep.
Because they're gonna go, are we the Ghostbusters? I don't think we are. I'm gonna stay home. I'm not gonna go to that one.
How often do you think the Ghostbusters got called and it was just some guy in a sheet?
I mean, I feel like most of the time they get called, it was a crazy person that was nothing. That was just I saw a ghost, and he's just I'm just lonely. I just wanted you to come over and talk to me for a bit.
This is getting sad.
They're making a new Ghostbusters with the original people.
You know, Scooby-Doo villains don't really do anything wrong. They don't really hurt anybody or anything.
No, they just be slightly creepy about. I mean, they're committing fraud. Like that's the crime is fraud. It's we got to scare up the situation so that
is it illegal to scare someone?
I think it is. That's probably a form of assault.
What about a pepper?
Can I tell you a story about young Bryce?
No. You can tell our listeners a story, though. I just won't listen to it. Tell me, let me know when you're done.
When I was a young kid, my parents owned a store of hardware devices. A local lawyer came in, and I was like, I'm 10. I have a question about spraying random people with a super soaker. Because I would like to do that because I'm a hilarious prankster. And then I was like, is that against the law? And he's like, yes, it is, probably. And I was like, okay, good to know. And then I was moved on with my life. And then later, I got a letter in the mail. And the lawyer man sent me a $50 bill for a consultation, and I was 10. I did not have $50. I did not have access to $50 or a way to get $50. And I cried for an hour. So, Mr. Lawyer Man, you're a mean person, and I will always hold it against you. And that's my story about how the lawyers are mean. The end. Beckers, I'm done. She's on her phone right now.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad someone was here to listen to you. Talk about your childhood.
Okay. You got anything else to say about or Scooby-Doo villains?
How to be a Scooby-Doo villain?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, that's good because I have a good game idea instead of whatever you were saying.
Well, that's a good try at being mean, but everybody knows I had a really fun idea, so. I
have played a battle royale. It's called Dumb Battle Royale because it's not a Corp game. It's weird that they all games seem to just be like, this is a dumb one. And it just says that on the title, unless it's a Corp game where we actually come up with cool game ideas like
How to be a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah, that one. I was trying to think of any game idea, like any game that we actually came up with.
Pain Deer Games.
Oh yeah, that one's. I just thought of Foul Play, and that's all I could come up with.
Yeah, that's because those are my favorite games, and I made them, and they're the best games we ever did because I made them.
So, I was thinking, because some of these games, you gotta shoot at people about, and that's how you do it. And then sometimes you're playing a game, and it's just a concert that takes place. Video games are buck wild right now. You try and play Fortnite, and then it's just a concert that you have to be at, and it's weird. In some of these games, when you fall down, you die. If you jump off a cliff, you die, and then that's a way to lose. So I'm deciding to combine these two original concepts that have never been connected, and we're gonna make a battle royale with no guns. The only way to die, is from fall damage. Now, obviously, I think there's a number of mountains. This is a very elevated landscape. It's not. We're not going to set this in Kansas where it's like the only way to die is fall damage, and you're on the plains, so you win. It's always 100 players. No one loses because there's no way to fall. This is, I don't know, mountains. We got those. We can put that in, and you have to figure out how to make the other players fall. So I think we've got vehicles in it. I think we're gonna put cars in there, but you can hit somebody with a car and they'll just be fine. But if you manage to run them over, you have to like keep driving and kind of steer them into the mountain. And or I think this is the better strategy of pull up and be like, oh man, this game's real hard. I think if we work together, we can make the other people fall down. And then they go, oh yeah, sure, I'll hop in with you. And then you drive off the cliff, but jump off right before they realize what's happening. That's a fall damage. But I think most of the techniques is going to be 2-player squads where you have to, one of you has to bend down behind the person, and the other person has to push them, and then they fall. I think that's the pro strat. What are you thinking, Beckers? How would you... Oh, hello?
Yep, I heard that. I did. That sounds like... Are there just a bunch of cliffs everywhere to fall off of? Or is falling from standing height to the ground enough to kill someone?
I think a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think this takes place on probably the Rocky Mountains. I think there's a lot of cliffs.
Well, What if it's just like a Swiss cheese style floor and everywhere there's a hole and you just fall to your death?
That's an option.
Maybe that's one of the maps.
Yeah, we'll have some different. Some of them are more vertical. Some of them it's a flat, but just with a lot of holes.
Yeah, it's just a giant cheese grater.
Yep. So you gotta look out for people trying to duck behind you while somebody else pushes, fall at the same time, avoiding holes.
Yeah, and like there's no weapons exactly because you don't shoot anybody, but. What about like a lasso?
Maybe there are weapons, but obviously they don't hurt you. But maybe if you shoot at them enough, they'll just get like pushed backwards into a hole and or off a cliff.
But they have kickback, so you go flying too.
Oh, yeah, that's too. Like you got to kind of like find a wall to push yourself back onto so that you can just shoot at them and then they'll like be propelled. It's a lot of it's just you got to learn the physics of everything. It's a very physicality game.
And instead of like a body armor or helmets or whatever that a lot of these games have, you can find like sticky gloves, and you can catch walls and climb back up like Spider-Man, but then they lose their stickiness, so they're like a one use.
Or iron boots like in Zelda, where you just got really heavy shoes so you won't fall down.
But if you do fall down while you're wearing those, you're screwed.
Oh yeah,
sticky gloves can't keep you up if you're wearing the iron shoes.
Yeah, if you don't go in the holes, that's bad.
That's not good.
So we got mountains, we got Swiss cheese.
You got lassos. So if your friend's falling down the Swiss cheese, you can and catch them and pull them back up, or you can lasso somebody and then do the thing and like. Throw them and then let go so then they go off the edge.
This should just be a game in the Old West where everybody is on horses and has lassos.
Yeah, and you can teach your horse to kick people.
Ooh, that'd be real
flying.
Good. That's a pro strat.
Yeah.
But they're going to be temperamental.
If your animal husbandry skill is really high, you can kick people with your horse.
Yeah. You've got to like, because it's a battle royale, you all start off at this same point. So you've got to, the pro strat is to spend the first like half hour of the game just going to the ranch,
petting your horse,
going to the ranch, finding a horse, and just making sure it's you and him are simpatico.
And then your horse falls down a hole. Yeah. And then you are so overcome with emotion that you just jump after him. Then you start the next round. Yeah. And hopefully your next horse is smarter.
Next time, we start with learning how to avoid holes, and then we move to kicking other players. There's a skill tree here that we need to focus on.
We get a horse that's so big it's too big for all the holes.
Yep, gotta get that's it. Ooh, yeah, you can go to a restaurant and just get too fat for the holes.
That's not what I was thinking.
Oh,
that was a different direction I was going, but that is a good direction. That is another thing you can do. Spend the first 30 minutes of the game just eating.
And everybody else is just trying to like grab you and pull you away, and you're just like stuffing. So by the time they drag you out of the restaurant, you can't get through the doors, so you're fine.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then the red zone comes, and what the red zone does, it just opens up holes in the floor, and it can open up right below you.
Yeah.
But that's why you want to stay out of the red zone. And then another item that you could get from like crates and stuff that fall out of the sky, if they don't fall into one of the cheese holes, you can find like a bunch of grease and you can just spray it everywhere, and then everybody goes slipping and they just slide into a hole.
That and bananas.
Yes. This sounds like a really fun game. I would play this.
I love when the CEO of a game company goes like, "This sounds fun."
This sounds like a game that I might actually play. It's been like 20 episodes since that last happened, but
And last time she played it so much that no one else wanted to play it.
Yeah. Nope, I ruined it.
Yep.
Soiled it. Soiled it.
Okay, that's a descriptive word.
SpongeBob. Nobody understands me.
What could we call it?
Slip, skidoo.
Hello, welcome to GameStop. How can we help you? I would like a copy of Skip Skidoo.
Skip.
Oh, Slip
Skidoo.
Common mistake. There's somebody else who put out Skip Skidoo trying to capitalize on Game Corp's great successful game. So there's a lot of confusion.
All right.
There may be a different words that we could use to describe.
Different words? Okay. Don't fall.
Oh, frick.
Brick? I don't get it.
No. I kind of want to call it Wilhelm Scream, but that's too deep a cut.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, she's got an idea. I'm excited. She's Googling.
In a manner of speaking, I have an idea. It's just a thing that.
Okay.
Hold on. Here it comes.
That is a Wilhelm Scream. Wow.
Whenever anybody dies, they're just gonna go. We need to get somebody on the phone here. We need this to be really made. This is the best game idea I've ever heard of in my life.
A game. A game. Can we just recap what this? This is a game where you play on a Swiss cheese battlefield, and there's a ranch where you can go and try and tame a horse to try and kick other players into the holes. And there's also a restaurant where you can try and eat, I think, cheese. I think there is also Swiss cheese that you can eat to really double down on that Swiss cheese lifestyle. And inside that, there's other players. Anyway. And you can eat food so that you'd be too big for the holes. There's also grease and bananas, and then there's also people just trying to do the old tricky trick where they push them over.
The squat and push.
Yeah, squat and
that
push.
doesn't sound like what we're describing.
That sounds like what I do in the morning.
That sounds like pooping. Yeah. And there's the grappling hooks, probably. We haven't talked about that, but I was thinking it. Lassos.
How deep is the hole? Like, is there a point? How long do you have to recover?
The hole is as deep as the world goes. It's a very deep hole.
Okay.
But I think after 100 feet, you're just dead. Maybe less than that. 60 feet, you're just dead. So you have to quick reflexes if you're gonna grappling hook.
Yeah.
And if you don't hit the top, then you're still just dead. But
so these are all actual holes, because if you were gonna sticky glove to the side, because when you said Swiss cheese, I almost pictured it was just holes, and then underneath it was just blackness.
I was thinking there was some length to them, there was some depth to our map, so that you could do some catching, just to have some more things in the game. You know what I'm saying?
I almost want this to be a race. I almost want there to be
there can be a racing game mode.
Yeah, it's kind of a battle royale, but it's really like a race to the finish of whoever can get across the map, and then so you can try and just run through all the holes. But, that's a pretty risky maneuver. Or you could try going, play the turtle route and go for, hey, I'm going to go get so fat that I can just take it slow. And everybody else probably who tried to rush over is already dead. And I'll just casually walk across.
I don't know if you'll have time to train your horse, but with the horse, you'll go like 3 times as fast.
Yeah, and you can jump over the holes.
And kick people into them.
Yep. And then you'll be pro shred.
And you should be able to have like another Mario Kart idea. Those ink splatters. Just make somebody totally blind for like a second. They can choose to just stand still and then get kicked into a hole. Or they can choose to just run ahead and then probably run into a hole. So, yeah. Short-term blindness.
There's holes everywhere.
Is that the game idea name?
Sure.
Is that the game name?
There's holes everywhere.
I thought we were going to have multiple maps, though. Like, we could have one map that's just a giant pole, and there's just edges. And all 100 people are on top of the pole, and you just kick a pole off, and the pole just keeps shrinking.
That's pretty good. I don't know. I kind of want to just call it fall damage. It's simple.
Okay. I think that's good.
Fall damage. Don't look down. Ooh. Maybe just don't look down.
Well, you should look down, or you're going to miss all the holes.
Unless it's like Wile E. Coyote physics of like, you're fine as long as you don't look.
Or another cartoon thing, you have portable holes that you can throw.
Oh yeah, that's a real like ultimate strategy is hole thrower.
Oh. I love this game. I want to marry this game.
And the game is called Fall Damage, Don't Look Down. Sounds good.
I'll agree to that.
That's been the game that we made this time. Hey guys, guess what? It's been a year of Game Make
Chicken
Corp.
butt.
Yep, that's what I was after. It's been a year of Game Make Corp, and to celebrate, we have put up a clip show on the youtube.com/lastgeek. Beckers, tell them about the exciting things in that clip show.
I'm in it. And that should be what you need to know.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's Game Make Corp's best hits. It's our greatest hits CD of the last year. So like basically it's great.
So go to youtube.com/lastgeek and look for the one that says Game Make Corp Year 1 clips. And it's funny and good time, and hope you enjoy it. And if you are not already subscribing to Last Geek on YouTube, do it so that you can look at the video that we make of this podcast.
Yeah. It's short too. So it's all good.
Yep.
It's all goodness.
You know what else is good? Hearing about where people can find Beckers.
People can find Beckers at our new house. Yay! I have a new house. Did you notice? Look it's new. But I'm not telling you where it is. So it's like a scavenger hunt. It's a secret. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Beckers with a Z. And sometimes, once in a blue moon, you can find me on Twitch at Dr. Beckers with an S. I've been there before. I used to be there more often, but sometimes I still go. On the Twitch. And I play the video games, mostly Overwatch instead of Kingdom Hearts. Yep.
Okay.
Because I beat them all. Beat all the Kingdom Heartses. Where can they find you, Bryce?
I think around 1985 is where I'm trying to get to. Hopefully people can send in their game ideas quickly. I'll check Twitter, where my Twitter is at twitter.com/lastgeek. And there's no game ideas yet, Beckers. My station wagon's not gonna be ready. Oh no. I don't think I'm fading, Beckers. No.
Oh my god, he's disappearing. Look at he's gone. Well, so this has been an episode of Game Make Corp with Beckers, because I'm the only CEO of this company. So remember, have fun.